All right, I want to talk about how to check yourself when you're angry, a simple way to bless someone, and a quick check just for an overall supplement company if you're wondering if this is like a legitimate, good for you supplement company. So, back when I was in the throes of first time motherhood and I was up at night nursing my screaming baby who wouldn't sleep, I would get so angry. One of my biggest heart issues has always been anger. Like, I'm very quick to anger and I am not very patient. And so, those two obviously can really ignite each other. And so, I would just sit and I would be angry, and my anger would be directed in those moments actually to my husband, because I'm like, why can't you freaking do like help or do something? And obviously, what's he gonna do? He can't nurse. So, and he had to go to work the next morning, so it made no sense for him to be up. So I just, one night it came to me, I'm sure God just spoke to me and said, you are not mad at George, you're not mad at your baby, you're mad at the situation. And like, that was just a light bulb that went off. And since then, well, I'm not perfect. I still really struggle with anger and impatience. They are still my biggest struggles, I would say. But like, it just happened to me today. I was just extra tired today. My husband was a little extra irritable. Like, everybody's just like a little bit extra on edge. I think we just haven't been sleeping well because the baby. And so this afternoon, I was just really angry, and I was angry at my husband. And then I just stopped and I prayed, because that is like, God is the only one that's going to get us out of most of these messes. And I said, like, God, I don't want to be like this. Like, get this off me, get this out of me. And he reminded me, you are not mad at George, you are mad at the situation. And just to like get clarity, I'm still tired, I'm still irritable, but it just redirects me to think, okay, it's not his fault. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at the kids. The kids aren't doing anything wrong. The kids are being kids. My husband is tired too. No one's sleeping right now. But to think, you're not mad at a person, you're not mad at someone, you're mad at the situation, it just really helps de-escalate the whole situation. And it really helps, for me, it helps take me out of it and just be like, okay, I'm just really not mad at anything, because what am I going to do? Be mad at a situation that I can't control? So it's been really helpful. Okay, and a simple way to bless someone, I don't know why it took me this long. Growing up in church, I watched like my grandma, and I think my grandma did it a lot. Maybe my mom did too, but I know my grandma would make meals for people. And I just kind of thought, like, that's just something ladies in a church that don't go off to work do to be nice for each other. Well, it took me until, not even like when we had my son, like, yes, people made us meals when we had our first baby, and it was amazing and it was a blessing. And the same when we had my daughter. But it wasn't until, and I think to like, I appreciated it. Like, please, if you made us a meal, I definitely appreciated it. But it took until my husband busting his knee and being literally out of commission for 6 weeks, like could barely hobble around on crutches. He was just laid up in bed or on the couch for 6 weeks. It was so hard. We had, I don't know how old the kids were, 4 and 2, maybe. It was, yes, it was very hard. It was hard because I had kids. It was hard because I had to work, and then I had another big kid. I had to help him get into the shower. I had to help do his, like, wrap his knee every night, wrap his bandages. So it was hard. And not only did I have extra work, I had less help. And so anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point was, we had people make us meals in that time, and it was the biggest blessing because it was one less thing I had to do. Like, I didn't have to think about what we were going to make. I didn't have to think about cleaning up after cooking. We had meals, and it was the biggest blessing. And so ever since then, I've tried to be a blessing in that way to other people, because I know what it's like to have a parent in your house down, or like a spouse down. It's been a really simple way for me to bless someone, because we're already cooking. And so most of the time what I do is I just make a double batch, or actually a triple batch, of like soup or pulled chicken. Those are my two go-tos. I'll make hamburger soup, or I'll make pulled chicken. And I'll make pulled chicken in a crock pot and literally just dump a bunch of chicken breasts in there. I put barbecue sauce and then extra garlic powder, and I like chipotle powder, make it like a little bit of a kick. And then you just let it sit all day, like crock pots do. And then you shred that sucker up, and then you get, the game changer is getting those aluminum disposable pans, so they don't have to clean up and return a dish to you, and then you don't have to worry about where your dish went. We always ask, do you have any allergens or any foods that you avoid? And then we get them like a salad kit and some fruit. For me, it's a huge blessing. And so I guess I'm projecting a little bit and assuming it's helping them out. If nothing else, like at least they get a meal that they don't have to worry about. It's not a lot of skin off my teeth, but it's still very helpful for someone else. That is what I enjoy doing. So then the third thing is how to kind of evaluate a supplement company. And I think the quickest, dirtiest, easy way for me to do it is I look at them and I look at two things, at their multivitamin. So if there's a company and they have a lot of different products, I look at their multivitamin and I see what form of B12 do they use and what form of B9, which is folate. And if they have, so B12 is cobalamin. So if they have the cyanocobalamin, it's garbage. Methylcobalamin, that's a good form. And it's just that little difference, but it's the difference between cyanocobalamin, cheap, either this company doesn't know that it's garbage or they don't care and they're just looking to get the cheapest products in there so they can make the biggest profit on their product. And either way, that's no good for you. And I know if they have that mentality on their multivitamin, then that's going to carry over into their other products, and I don't even bother with that company. Same with the folate. So folate is B9. If they have folate in there, but then it says as folic acid, or they just have straight folic acid, again, I don't worry about it because that is a synthetic form. Bodies don't handle it well anyway, but it's the cheapest form. And again, either they don't know or the company doesn't care. And that is not a company that you want to be putting their products in your body because it's just kind of garbage. So that's just a quick and dirty way to evaluate a company. Of course, like that is a generalization, but so far it's worked out for me. And we work with a lot of supplement companies over the years. We've looked at a lot of them, we've evaluated, we use them on ourselves or our patients. And so that's just, it's kind of been a good mainstay for us to look at those two things and see, are they using the cheap form or are they using the good form that the body can use? And gosh darn it, wouldn't you know it, we've been on the hunt for a good parasite cleanse for kids because we use a good parasite kit in the office for adults. And I say it's for adults, kids can use it too, but it's in capsules. And like, of course you can break open the capsules and like, but it's just, it's kind of a hassle. And then you have to dose it for kids. And it's just not simple for parents. And parents that need to parasite cleanse their kids need simple because they are dealing with kids with parasites and it's just a whole thing. So anyway, I've been looking and of course I got suckered in. I saw on my feed this parasite kit for kids and I looked at the ingredients and I said, oh my gosh, it looks good. So we'll try it. Well, it said we have B12, we have D3, and then we have like black walnut, And so I got it in and I looked and they had the actual like nutrient facts on it and it was freaking cyanocobalamin. I was so mad. And then I look at the return policy and of course you can't return it. So I was like, ugh. So we'll try it because it's not going to hurt anything. I just don't love it. So that they got me too. I guess that's all to say that they get us all. But look for those two things. So you do not want cyanocobalamin, you want methylcobalamin, and you do not want folic acid, you want folate. Those are two good forms of those nutrients that you can look for in their multivitamin. That's not to say it's going to be a good company, but at least it's like a really quick litmus test that you can use.